As we continue in reading through the Gospel of John, we enter into this week the last stretch of Jesus' ministry. And this upper room discourse is what is often called. Chapter 13 talks about how Jesus prepares the Passover celebration with his disciples. And it's interesting in chapter 13 how Jesus, he's described as loving his own disciples and loving them to the very end. And part of demonstrating that love is that he washes the feet of the disciples. Now, John, he makes it super clear in the passage that Judas Iscariot, who had already been described as having betrayed Jesus and looking for an opportune time to give him up to the authorities, is present. And so Jesus actually washes the feet of Judas Iscariot. And so it's interesting when you think about this, as Jesus, being fully God, he knows that Judas has already betrayed him and is looking for an opportune time to hand him over to the authorities. Even though all of this is taking place and Jesus knowing it, he still washes his disciples' feet, even Judas's. And so that just really jumped out to me and really struck me that even in the face of enemies and persecution and different things, we see Jesus washing his enemies' feet. And it's interesting as we come to kind of the close of Tuesday's passage in verses 18 through 20, John describes how Jesus, he starts talking again about how he is going to die, and all of this is in preparation for his death. And what also struck me is how he quotes from the Old Testament. And as I was doing some research and looking into this passage, it really struck me that Jesus, he continues to use the Old Testament to point to his death and resurrection, and how God weaved the redemption story throughout the entire Bible. Scholars have done a lot of research and reading into it, and they see that over 10% of what Jesus said is quotations from the Old Testament. And I think this is important for us as we read about the Passover in the upper room and look at Jesus' death, that Jesus did see himself as the Messiah, the anointed one who is coming into the world, and the fulfillment of all these Old Testament prophecies. And so we can take great confidence and comfort in knowing that the Bible is authoritative and it's true, and it all points to Jesus. And so as we read this account and we read the rest of John, we can take great comfort in knowing that Jesus is with us and Jesus is our Messiah and Savior.